everyone, and welcome to another edition of Monina ETV. That's right, ang tagal naming nawala. But anyway, since now that we are in enhanced community quarantine because of COVID-19, it is March 19 today. Okay, so ano bang pag-uusapan natin today? We are going to talk about one of the many things that a lot of people have been asking me over the years, and I still cannot give the correct answer because I do not have the answer. And this question is how much you should spend for your wedding. So, again, over the past 25 years, so many clients have asked me that, pero talagang hindi ko masasagot yan. Let me explain or give you an example why. We have clients who have spent as minimum as 200,000, and we have clients who have spent as much as 10 million pesos for their wedding. So, di ba, grabe ang laki ng range. So, does that mean that it's between 200,000 to 10 million? Of course not. You can still have a wedding even if you have less than 200,000 or even if you have more than 10 million pesos. So, just to make my point that the answer to that question can only come from you. Ikaw lang ang makaka-determine talaga kung magkano ang kailangan mo at dapat mong spend for your wedding. But today, I'm going to give you 5 tips on what are the things that you have to consider when deciding on how much you want to spend for your wedding. Okay, so let us have tip number 1. Assess how much you are willing and able to spend. Okay, take note, willing and able. Pinagsama ko yan in one tip because willingness and ableness are two things that you have to consider together. Ano ba sa Tagalog yan? Willing, yung gusto. Able, yung kaya. So, kung ano yung gusto mo at kung kaya mong spend. For example, you have 1 million pesos in savings, pero you only want to spend 200,000 for your event. It doesn't mean that you have 1 million in the bank, you're going to spend that much because you are only willing to spend 200,000. And in a similar manner, if you have 200,000 in the bank, but you want to spend 1 million, that's a different thing. Meaning you are willing to spend 1 million but you are only able to spend 200,000. So, hindi rin naman po pwedeng 1 million. So, kung ibig sabihin ko, ano lang yung kaya at gusto mong spend. Willingness and ableness. When you discuss this between the two of you, remember that the bride and the groom should talk together and decide on this. Hindi po pwedeng si groom lang. Kasi, syempre, nag-propose si groom, umaccept si bride. So, dapat kayong dalawang responsible for how much you can and able to spend on your wedding. Pero here in the Philippines, of course, our parents normally want to share into that cost. No? So, po pwede naman natin i-consider yon because some parents would say, oh, I wanted to get married at this hotel or this venue. Sige, sagot ko na yan, sagot ko na yan. So, we have to consider the contribution of the parents as well. Pero, take note, parents lang. Not the gifts or the share of other people. And I'm going to talk to you about that in another tip. But here is tip number 2. Okay. Tip number 2. Do not rely on assumed wedding gifts. Ano ibig sabihin nun, no? So, di ba yung iba natin mga kababayan dyan, they would say that, okay, I can spend this much because we can just invite 10 pairs of principal sponsors and because the pakimkim that they're going to give will be able to cover the cost of some of the wedding expenses, di ba? Oh no, please, do not consider that. Okay? Don't be one of those couples who would be opening up the angpaos at the end of the evening, at the end of the event to pay for your suppliers at the end of the day. That should not be the case. Why? Because there are times that this is not going to be within your expectation. That's number 1. Number 2, because the gifts that you're going to receive during your wedding should be gifts that would be able to give you a blissful start in your married life. Pang-umpisa nyo yan. Pang-bonus nyo yan. So, please do not rely on that. Another thing is that gifts that you receive during the wedding will be much more appreciated when you do not expect it. In the same manner, kanina, di ba sinabi ko, when your parents are going to contribute some of the or share some of the expenses for your wedding day, okay yon. Pero for other people who would say, oh, I'm going to pay for your wedding cake, that's my gift. Or I'm going to pay for your wedding ring, that's my gift. Again, consider that as a bonus. Meron ka ng budget na 10,000 for your wedding cake. Tapos, sasabihin ng friend mo, sige, sagot ko na yung wedding cake. Ako nang bahala doon. That's good. Even if she brings in a new wedding cake or pays for the wedding cake, you have another 10,000 in savings for your future. Hindi ba? And, yun. So, please do not consider wedding gifts as part of your resource for your wedding expense. So, tip number 3, do not get married using credit cards. Okay, ayan tayo. So, bago magpakasal, di ba, mag-a-apply ng maraming credit cards. So believe me, there are so many people who want to get out of debt. As you get married and have children, there are more and more expenses to attend to. And so, it is not nice that you're going to start your marriage with debt. Mag-ipon ka para sa pampakasal mo. Hindi yung gagamitin mo yung credit card mo para lang makabayad ka sa wedding expenses na hindi mo naman pala kayang bayaran at this point. Okay? And then, tip number 4, okay, is to plan ahead. Plan ahead. Ang pagpapakasal, hindi yan basta-basta, no? Lalaki will propose to the babae. So, this is after you have already planned ahead. Maybe you have already saved for 1 or 2 years from your salary or from your business, that you have a little money already that you can start with for your wedding. And then, when you propose, it doesn't mean that you're going to get married the following month, diba? It means that you're going to get married the following year or 2 years from now, to give you enough time for the two of you to plan for the expenses of the wedding. So, for example, mag-calculate tayo. For example, you are earning 50,000 a month. So, if you're going to save 20% of that, that is a total of 10,000 a month that you can save and set aside for your future wedding. If your wedding is like a year from now, that means 10,000 per month times 12 months is 120,000. So, if the two of you is going to do this together, so si bride may 120,000 after a year, si groom may 120,000 after a year, so you already have 240,000. Pero si groom nakapag-prepare na, diba? So, before he proposed, nakapag-prepare na siya ng another 240,000, probably. So, that means that you already have 480,000 as wedding money. Eh, kung magbibigay pa si mami ng 100,000, si kabilang mami magbibigay ng 100,000. So, you already have 600,000 something, 700,000 for your wedding. Okay? So, that's why planning ahead is key. You don't just rush into getting married. You don't just rush into marriage. Kailangan talaga pinagpaplanuhan yan. And, ito pa pala. So, since you have that habit already of saving 20% of your income every month for your wedding, imagine after your wedding, if you will continue to save that much, how much are you going to save together, saving 20% of your income every month pagtapos na yung wedding, di ba? So, you can prepare and save and invest for milestones ahead. Alright. So, that's a great tip. Always plan ahead. For tip number 5, ito na. Bottom line, if you cannot afford it, don't buy it. So, for example, na-determine mo na lahat, na follow mo na yung tips 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you already have the money, nag-start na kayo mag-plan, magpunta sa mga bridal fair at maghanap ng mga suppliers. Tip, if you cannot afford it, don't buy it. So, say for example, you already have a budget of 500,000 for the entire wedding. Let's say 30,000 of that is going to be for your wedding gown. If you find a wedding gown that's beautiful, you love it, but it's 50,000, it is beyond your budget. Don't buy it. Okay? If your budget for a photographer is 60,000 and then you went to a wedding of a friend, ito ang photographer niya, sikat at maganda, magaling, no? 180,000, pero 60,000 lang yung budget mo, please, do not spend on that photographer. Why? Because you cannot afford it. So, stick to your budget and stick to what you can afford. Okay? If you cannot afford it, don't buy it. Yung mga iba dyan, just in case you're saying that the examples that I'm giving are still way above your budget. Sabihin, I can only spend 50,000 for my wedding. Miss Molina, pwede ba yun? Kaya ba yun? Of course! So, anong kailangan mo pag nagpa-civil wedding ka? Okay, be inspired with John Preston and Carrie Bradshaw from the movie Sex and the City, of course. So, sa wedding nila, diba, it's a civil wedding, magkano lang ginastos niyan? Of course, setting aside the Manolo Blahnik shoes. Pero, how much would you need? 6,000 to 8,000 for the munisipyo. Bili ka ng bouquet sa Dangwa, 1,000 pesos. Siguro, kailangan mo ng bagong damit, 2,000 pesos, 3,000 pesos. Siguro, kailangan din ng bagong damit. Bigyan mo na rin siya, 2,000, 3,000 pesos budget. Tapos, kukuha ka ng 2 pairs of ninong and ninang, family niya. So, kakain kayo sa Vikings or magre-reserve ka ng isang private room sa Max. So, magkano siya? 20,000, 30,000. So, anyway, with 50,000, you definitely can still get married here in the Philippines. Ngayon, kung iba-budget down pa natin, 30,000 lang ang pera mo, kaya mong ipunin. O sige, tanggalin mo na yung ganito at you can still get married. Or if you still cannot afford to have a civil wedding, ay nako, mag-isip ka muna, friend. Baka you are not really ready to get married. So, kagaya na sinasabi ko, it's an obligation. It is not just that you want to get married. There are a lot of financial obligations that you are going to face once you get married and once you have children, and so financial security is very important. So anyway, yan na muna pag-uusapan natin ngayon. So I would like to thank you for checking out this video. Sana may natutunan kayo maski kaunti at sana I was able to entertain you during this time na medyo nabobore na siguro tayo sa bahay because of COVID-19. Stay safe everybody. God bless, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!